The point that we've been making about this is that half of the women that we see in our clinics, and we see about 70,000 women a year who are requesting a termination of a pregnancy, half of them have been let down by their method of contraception. So what we're saying is that abortion is, for many, many women, a backup to their existing method of contraception. We're not saying it should be used instead of, but we're saying that it's a backup to women's contraception, and they need it to be a backup, and we should really just be honest about it and stop somehow making women feel as though they failed when in fact it's their contraception that's let them down.
But Anne, look, this is a very emotive subject.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it is, and everybody's got a different opinion.
Sure.
You see, by the mere fact that you've said that, in a way, it sends a message out to young people, look, kind of doesn't really matter. If you get pregnant, you can always get an abortion, get rid of the baby. And I personally think that that is a shocking message to send out.
Yeah, well, and if you're absolutely fundamentally opposed to abortion, I can understand why people would feel that. But the point is, let me say, you know, there is no one who is more distraught about having an unwanted pregnancy than a woman who comes to our clinic and maybe she's been on the pill, maybe she's used a condom, maybe she's even used the morning after pill, and she is still pregnant because she feels that she's done everything possible to not be there. And what we're saying is that we just need to appreciate that contraception doesn't always work. And when a woman is in a situation where she's pregnant and she really doesn't want to have a baby, what do we then do? Now, I think that to say to her, you have to go on and have that baby, I think that that is a wrong thing, and I don't think it's what society wants.
We don't say that. But I don't think we do say that nowadays.
No.
And I also...
Thank goodness we don't.
No, absolutely, I totally agree, but my problem with it is that you also think we should get rid of the 24-week limit.
What I think is a problem is when a woman comes to us and maybe she hasn't realised that she's pregnant, or maybe there are circumstances in her life that have really changed.
Even at 6 months, she hasn't realised she's pregnant.
Well, sometimes it happens. I know a doctor who delivered a midwife who didn't know that she was pregnant.
But it's not the norm.
It's not the norm.
It's
not the norm.
rare.
It's rare. And more typically, it will be that something has changed in her life. Maybe her husband's left her. Maybe her kids are sick. Maybe something has happened in her life. But the point is that it's legal for us to end that pregnancy at 24 weeks. It's illegal at 24 weeks and 1 day.
And if you've ever been to a prem unit in a hospital, you will see those little babies fighting for their life. So how you can say that you can just get rid of the baby, at
I
24,
am never
25.
saying you would just get rid of it. And I've been to those hospitals and I've been in a situation where I desperately wanted to have a baby and for a while couldn't. But what I'm saying is that the women who are in these situations, they know that by the time you're 24 weeks pregnant, you can feel it moving in your body. Now, you put yourself in that situation and you think, I think that if a woman feels the need to make that request, it's really something that she should be able to decide with her doctor. And what I'm saying is that a politician who sits in the Houses of Parliament and who makes decisions about laws is not going to be the best person.
Do you mean like Northern Ireland, for
decision.
example, currently?
I think Northern Ireland is a very good example where the politics say that women can't have abortions, that it's wrong. So what happens is that they come to our clinics.
What about your views on gender selection, saying that if it's the wrong gender, not your choice, you can abort the baby?
Well, let me say, my view on it is that it should always be down to the woman to make the decision for herself, because she will live with that decision. Now, you may disagree with the reasons, I may disagree with the reasons, but both of us can walk away at the end of the day. She is going to live with it. And so that's why, ultimately, it comes down to, do we trust people to make moral, responsible choices, or do we think they need somebody else to keep them in line?
But then you're opening it up with all of those changes that you would like, no time limit, no abortion should be, considered a form. you're opening it up, a system up, to be massively abused by certain people.
But why do we think women would abuse
But
this?
people will, because people do. You know how naive some young people are. I know I was like it myself. I used to think when I was a kid you could get pregnant from sitting on a toilet seat. They will, unless they're properly educated, it will get abused.
But
I think.
But, you know, I think what we have to think is that the restrictions at the moment also get abused because women who need abortions sometimes can't get them. And what I'm saying at the end of the day, you know, is that for me, it would be better if abortion were not in the criminal law, if it were not criminal for doctors to do them unless women meet certain circumstances, and if women could just go to a doctor, be really open about what they need, and to be able to accept that we need it. If we think that women should be able to control their fertility and choose when they have children, we should be able to say, well, OK, some women will need abortion and it should be for them to decide when it's right.